I like science. One of the things about science is getting to that point of predicting things, predicting what's going to happen next. If you look at, when I look in the newspaper, if I look in the newspaper, they'll have the time that the sun is supposed to rise, the exact moment, like it's supposed to rise. I don't know the exact time. I have to look in the paper, but they may say 6:45 or something like that, or 6:20. So I look, and if I wait right there on the shores of Lake Michigan, a nice clear day, you see the moment it rises. You can look at your clock and see how accurate they were, and they will be accurate. I used to have a calendar that actually had the sunrise and sunset times on it, for the whole entire year. That's science. That's science, knowing what's going to happen, predicting things ahead of time, kind of extending yourself beyond the right here and right now. Because, if we just go purely what our senses tell us, we're limited. It's just exactly what David Hume said, that's the limits of our knowledge. Pretty much what you're taking in through your senses currently. But with science, we can go a little bit further than that, And all of us don't have to be scientists, but we can learn to use a little bit of scientific thinking to kind of go a little bit further. And, again, I go back to the thing I said, what Einstein said. He said that the only difference between scientific thinking and everyday thinking is a matter of refinement. So the more you refine your thinking, the more accurate you can become at predicting things in the future. I think that people can predict the future, but generally, we tend to be pretty bad at it. A lot of time people predict where an invention is going to go. And you always read these stories about it, like how, when the telephone was invented, how, companies that ran the telegraphs, they thought, well, this, Western Union thought, this is not going to do anything. This is nothing. It's just a little electronic toy. It's not going anywhere. And so they rejected the idea. And then Alexander Bell formed his own telephone company. He formed his own company, American Telephone and Telegraph, which became one of the biggest companies in the world. When somebody invents a computer that's different from any other computer, people say, oh, that's not going to do anything. And the next thing you know, it's one of the biggest companies in the world. It's always funny how sometimes there are people who really get it wrong, especially people who have power, people who have a lot of money, a lot of authority, a lot of power. They get wrong predictions. And then there are little people who aren't that big, but they think about things, they look at things, and they are very careful in the way they think about stuff. They're very slow like me, but they're very thoughtful. They're slow because they take the time to think about things. And I do that. I'm learning a lot of stuff now about friends and friendships and who my real friends are. Sometimes there are people who I thought were really good friends, and they really haven't been very good friends. And there are people who I didn't think of as good friends who have been good friends. And that's one thing I'm learning in life. People who give you support and people who don't. People who just say things to you. I apply a little bit of science to things. And I look at things and I notice things. Whereas in the past, I would have ignored stuff. Today, I know. I'm learning. I'm just learning to become a better thinker. That's all. That's my whole point. That's the thing. Become a better thinker. You have a pretty good idea of what's going to happen in the future.